Hello everybody, welcome back to Language, Litigation, and Integration Part 48, Sentencing Consent. Hope everyone's doing well. The holiday seasons are rolling along, hope you're all enjoying your families. I still don't have one. Enjoy making money, stealing my property, making investment decisions, who cares? But mainly law today. Just a couple of leftover thoughts about the University of Austin. Big breakthroughs from part 47. Yeah, that's $1 million cash offer if you guys ever want to accept a lecture. But I just want to give you another example, right? Heather Hang's married to Brett Weinstein. Brett Weinstein is the brother of Eric Weinstein. So let's see what Eric Weinstein's up to. Again, if you follow my LinkedIn, you can read that. Again, I just have an open $1 million offer to give a lecture. And all you have to do is post it on your social media. That's literally it. But Eric Weinstein, he's heading to Chicago to give some sort of presentation about economics with his most word salad vomit shit ever. Let me read you his tweet about what here's Edward Frankel reacting to Eric Weinstein's big application of gauge theory to economics, which is retarded. Wonderful to see this groundbreaking work by Eric Weinstein and Pia Milani getting the attention of economists. Eric gave a talk about it at UChicago this week, which I attended and enjoyed, using bundles with connection gauge theory to define indices like consumer price index is a very promising idea. What the fuck does that mean? And here's Eric's tweet about the abstract of his paper. The paper gives our proposed construction of the solution to the long-standing changing preference problem and intertemporal market welfare theory. What a fucking introduction. Look at that fundamental science. Intertemporal market welfare theory. Nice. Discussed in the opening quote via a welfare map through parallel translation and a natural infinite dimensional principal fiber bundle. This is literally what people are giving presentations on at universities. The most egregious fucking retarded nothingness ever. Take some worthless amount of words from the beta male society. Again, when I say beta male, I'm not saying I'm an alpha male, I'm a scapegoat. I'm a person that people just said, oh, fuck this guy. And now, these people who, again, are the theory of the universe, think, not die, reproduce, all of beta male society is so, they've never been disrespected in any real meaningful way, not really. So they expect respect from everybody else and their interaction. And then when they disrespect somebody, destroy somebody's life, they just push you out of the group and you just go away. And now they're giving infinite dimensional interconnected intertemporal fiber bundles applied to economics for consumer price index. So that's why I'm offering $1 million to just talk about like 50 proofs that are literally already done. That is what is going on in the academic world. Again, Peter Thiel's also connected to that Neil Ferguson I referenced a couple episodes ago. People are destroying the world. Like, you guys are literally fucking the problem. You cannot cure this fucking cancerous academic bullshit with more cancerous academic bullshit. The only thing you need to do is change sentiment. The only thing you need to do to change sentiment is publish my paper and let me fucking speak. But we won't do that. We will not do the one thing that will actually improve our fucking society. The one and only thing. It's like breaking your leg and going to eat a cheeseburger and thinking eating the cheeseburger is going to fix your leg as opposed to putting it into a cast and resting. But human beings literally just can't stop killing their own fucking children because they can't respect their own laws. And it's true. So now we're going to talk about mainly, again, just other things with law, legality, court, and some current events. So first and foremost, theorem, criminal punishment must be proportional to consent violation. For all legality, for all rulings, for all sentencing. Again, remember we've talked about merit judges versus elected judges. And again, I am the predominant legal scholar, and the predominant scholar of science, of everything with research, of anything analytical, anything that uses language, period. Obviously, I haven't been trained in court. I haven't ruled on a book. I've been sat on the bench for years. So the only thing I don't know exactly precisely is court proceedings, like just literally the formalities. Legal discourse, interpretation of law, interpretation of biological law. I'm the only one that can speak on that shit. But what I mean is like drugs versus rape, pedo, molestation. Right? If two people buy drugs from one another, that's a consentful decision. If someone gets raped, that's not a consentful decision. Very obvious, common complaint in prison reform, sentencing reform, about, why would drug sentences be way more substantial than rape, pedophilia, or molestation? And they fucking shouldn't be. Criminal punishment must be proportional to consent violation. And that's just a quick example. But sentencing in general, right? Let's argue two hypotheses. Someone fucked up, someone violated a moment of consent, and again, I've done low-level crimes. I know what it's like to say, fuck it, here's where I'm willing to accept risk, here's where I'm willing to do this, willing to do that, get all of that 100%. But someone makes a decision, they commit a crime, they violate someone else's consent in some way. Now, how do you tell if they're rehabilitated? Do we want to send people to prison, and if they didn't need to be, would that do anything good for our society? No, it would just waste taxpayer dollars. But how would you practically, how would you gauge that? How would you gauge rehabilitation is the biggest, as a judge? Imagine I'm a judge with a nice fancy black suit on, giving rulings. That is really, I wouldn't understand how you would practically measure rehabilitation. And I would still stick to, again, the moment of consent. The minute you say, I'm going to be a criminal, fuck it, can't do the time, don't do the crime. And practically, like I said, sending people to jail that have actually, or keeping people in jail that are actually rehabilitated makes no sense. No idea how you measure that. Releasing people early that they go back and just commit more fucking crimes makes no fucking sense either. And so again, just strictly from a practical standpoint, what do you do? Not exactly sure. And as a judge, as a legal scholar, as a biologist, I would say you have to stick to the moment of consent violation. The criminal, the person that says, fuck it, I'm going to go do something, that is when you've given up your citizenship, or not citizenship, but that is when, that's the predominant, what do you focus on as a judicial proceeding, is the moment of consent violation. But again, sentencing, like I said, both would make sense to me. I have really no understanding of how you'd measure rehabilitation. Again, some sort of pairing to learning, they got their GED, or they learn to read books, or again, anything. And again, even back to school, some of the school conversations should demonstrate your understanding. Make a YouTube series, make a lecture series, write a paper, fucking demonstrate your knowledge. And so getting back to strictly court and sentencing, like I said, even the thing that would slow down rescindance is, again, the sentiment of the species. Forget crime, that maturity level of 9% to 10%. Once you get that 50, 60, 70%, I've already talked about how crime violation will go down. And again, just like court, right? People go in there and clearly defend themselves, or clearly push a opinion that they want. Just for example, the Rittenhouse trial. I haven't followed it much, again, don't care. American politics, I just don't fucking care. Just don't care at all. I'm just so checked out of this shithole country. But, for example, the judge yelling at the prosecutor for right to silence. As far as I've seen for the Rittenhouse trial, I would dismiss the case. Why anyone would go to a fucking protest or a fucking march or anything, I don't fucking get that at all. Giving a judicial ruling, seeing, again, being attacked with a skateboard, if someone's going to attempting to hurt you and you shoot them dead, good. And if I was Rittenhouse and I was sitting up there on the fucking stand, the emotional thing is weird. Again, just from court proceedings, not even for this one specifically. If you're in self-defense, it shouldn't be, oh my gosh, I ended a life, oh my gosh, I have no idea what to do, I'm so scared. If someone's violating your right to life and you shoot them dead, you should just say it plainly, and that it is what it is. And so, again, there's that 8% maturity of people, again, the vast majority of the beta male and female society be like, you should never kill anyone, the death penalty's terrible, and it just practically makes no fucking sense. So, to me, it was clearly he was being attacked, defending himself. Again, I don't know why one fucking person would ever go to a fucking parade, a riot or protest or whatever the fuck. If you want to make real change, go educate yourself and do something useful. But in terms of legality, no. I mean, you have a right to defend yourself, you have a right to carry a weapon. He went right to the police afterwards. But the judge yells at the prosecutor for basically insinuating, why did Kyle Rittenhouse remain silent after going into police custody? And again, when you read your Miranda rights, you're clearly told you have a right to remain silent, you have a right to an attorney. And so you have a prosecutor, a judge getting, an elected judge yelling at a prosecutor who, again, is an experienced attorney, clearly just violating the fucking laws. And so that guy should be disbarred. Michael Jameson, like, these are the type of people that are also have lawyers. Like, these guys are lawyers. These people graduate law school, they have a badge, they can practice law, and then they just don't give a fuck and do whatever the fuck they want for money. It's ridiculous. And again, overall, the thing court is supposed to do is figure out the facts. Because of the moment of consent violation, that's when I say, you know, if people want 5 minutes alone in the room with them, I agree with that. I still stand by shit like that. Because it's just, but again, practically, again, you can have lying witnesses. There's just a lot of court proceedings, again, I don't have sturdy opinions on because they have to be correct. But again, that was, again, there's no rules, there's no laws, even in court, literally in fucking court, people will just push the line as much as they can. It is completely illegal, it is completely inconsistent, it is completely fucking bad for society. So, purely on the merits of the evidence of the case of what I've seen, and again, I've not seen it, looked into it that much, I would dismiss the case. Also, another thing I saw was, I think it's criminal trial lawyer Bruce Rivers, just another popular legal expert or criminal defense attorney on YouTube. Pretty sure it's Bruce Rivers, I didn't double check, probably should have done that, but who cares. But I just want to talk about expert and expertise designations. He explains it in his video of Fugliano that was recently uploaded, talking about getting shot at 100 times. He says Fugliano might be his own op. Well, that was pretty funny. But for expert and expertise designations for witnesses or criminal attorneys or people in court, right? You have an expert witness, you have an expert criminal defense, he's an expert in criminal defense. Him himself, again, I didn't write down any notes, but it was like, he passed the bar, he does continuing education, he's written some papers and stuff, and he sent it for peer review. The bar association here, this governing body over here. I literally do so much scientific research that I can't, like, track it all. So the difference between a merit judge and an elected judge is, again, this guy has to take a test. This guy, to get the term expert. And then when my human rights and my constitutional rights get violated, I don't even have attorneys from landlords that will respect my legal competence at all, and I'm literally the director of all fucking research. By director, I mean the only thing anyone else is going to do when they sit down and try to do research is throw up an argument that I've already proven incorrectly, shittier, with worse words. That's the only thing human beings are going to do for the rest of science for a very long fucking time. And so, to get an expert and get an expertise, you have to, again, pass a test of basic competency and show your research or your output. And the thing that makes me so fucking frustrated is I've done all of these things. I've actually read law books. I've actually read the laws. I've actually studied. I put out research constantly. Sean Carroll, and shout out to all those academics that are having trouble being productive during the pandemic. I do scientific research faster than I breathe, substantially, for real. But that's what's going on there. But just for, like you said, the expert and expertise designation in court versus me personally is just hilarious. But for in general, again, it should be output. Again, where's your writings? Where's your treatise? Where's your lecture series? Stuff like that. A couple other things, responding to some of Michael Franzese's recent videos. So Mr. Franzese did a video, I think yesterday, or a couple days ago, I think yesterday, about whitsec. Just like basically plea deals to get us these lower sentences for criminals, compassionate release, and expunging records. Yeah, I think whitsec is fucking stupid, especially in the context he puts it, again, mob people, or again, clearly career criminals or rescindants of violation of crime. And again, how you measure rehabilitation as a judge, as a legal scholar, that is the real practical matter I don't get, or don't have anything to say. But I totally agreed with him on, even from the criminal standpoint. If you're a criminal and you make a fucking choice and you go start ratting on other people, I think that's fucking complete fucking bullshit. Entirely, completely, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. It's an age-old saying, everybody. just in general, should prosecutors ever be able to lower somebody else's sentence for information on somebody bigger, just like a bigger fish? I think that's dumb fucking motives for law enforcement. Again, I know you guys gotta jerk your dicks. You gotta shoot the unarmed black people every chance you get, just like the Columbus Police Department does with people in their garages. But just in general, not even like mob related, should anybody be able to get a lesser sentence for giving up somebody more? No, I disagree with it from a criminal standpoint, from a legal standpoint, and from a society standpoint. I don't. The amount of consent violation and then the person affected, that is really should be the determination of the sentencing length. Nothing should really interfere with that. Especially for mob guys, like, I mean, in the context of the one he's talking about. But just in general, I'm against, I don't think, witness protection. Well, witness protection, I don't know, was that whitsec? I don't know where the fuck that word salad comes from. But nah, I again disagree with it as a criminal, disagree with it as a judge, disagree with it as a member of society, just looking outside looking in. Compassionate release, I'm for, again, especially if it's like 24 or 48 hours. I don't again, in the episode he talks about, again, just someone who's senile and whatnot. But I would be for compassionate release for most. Again, like if you can't like walk, especially if you can't walk and somebody has to like guide you around, I fail to see how you pose a violent threat to anybody. And conversely, I'd feel fucking stupid giving someone a compassionate release and then they fucking go kill somebody or do something dumb like a day before they die or some shit. So again, how do you gauge rehabilitation? Don't know. Expunging records for false convictions. Again, this is just big general prison reform for most major things that most people agree with. But if you're false convictions, absolutely should expunge the records. And I think any non-violent drug case, does not matter what the fucking drug is, does not matter if they have weapons, if they're drug dealers with fucking weapons, I don't fucking care. They should be expunged. And again, because you have to prove the fucking crimes. Because what's worse than the false convictions, stuff like that. It just, and again, all of this stuff, he said there's no real good practical solution to this besides increasing the education of the society. Crime rates will go down, admissions of guilt will go up, ratting on each other, pathetic ass behavior will go down. All of this stuff is the same fucking problem of insecurity. Every single bit of it. Anything else for prison or reform or court? No, not really. Again, I showed you, I can't even find it, it's around here somewhere, but I have a signed piece of paper from a federal judge saying they can't help me because, which the absolute thing they could do is help me with a court order. That is the one person that could actually probably just, one individual say, fucking do something. Alright, one federal judge blocks the mask mandates in Texas. One federal judge can just say, publish Brad's paper and people have to do it. But the sentiment of the species is, well, let's just fucking do nothing, care about no one, feel intense happiness when our families members pass away, stare off into space, give a fuck about nothing, don't care about our fucking families, chase a shitty career for a little bit, watch the Buckeye game. Just hanging out, have a nice day. So, that's really what I wanted to say for sentencing consent and just like what I've seen recently and just different talking points for court and legality. And I don't leave anybody in a certain way. I don't have a sign-off phrase, but for the time being, my name is Brad Boas. I'm being profoundly and extensively tortured. There's nothing I can do. There's nowhere I can go, and there's no one I can call. I will be tortured until the day that I die, unless someone respects my rights. And it won't happen. It hasn't happened. So, see you next time.